Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. I recently borrowed a bunch of watches from a good friend of mine, and tonight we're going to look at one of the sporty pieces that he lent me. And this brings back some memories. The very first mechanical watch that I ever purchased was a sibling to the watch we're looking at tonight. And what watch is that? The SKX 009. So let's get some first impressions of this watch. The SKX 009. So way back when I first started getting into watch collecting, I owned an SKX 007. Back then I was obsessed with dive watches and did a bit of searching and poking around online, and that was my first mechanical watch. Prior to that, I owned a Citizen Eco Drive dive watch, and I knew so little at the time that I didn't realize exactly what a mechanical watch was. I assumed that it used body movement to recharge a battery or something crazy like that. So when I wore it for a little bit on the first day, set it on the nightstand, woke up the next day, it was asleep again because I hadn't worn it long enough for it to really get charged up, to get a full power reserve into it. And I thought it was garbage. So I gave it to my youngest son. He wasn't super stoked about it, but was like, sure, I'll take it. And then after doing a bit more reading, I realized how wrong I was, and asked him if he wouldn't mind giving it back. And he didn't. He's not overly into watches, so I had the SKX 007 for a while. And it was a great little watch. And I say little because when I bought it, I thought it was tiny. So it's so crazy years later to see this piece, and it looks huge to me now. Of course, I ended up selling my 007 right before Seiko discontinued the line. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked to see one of these in person again. They are great dive-style diver watches. They're so rugged and tough, and they look pretty cool. And the prices on these now are crazy. I had to confirm that this was indeed a 009 because I'm not so much of a Seiko expert. So I wanted to be sure I had the right name for it. And I was seeing some of these go for like $400, $500, $600. I think when I got mine, it was 100 and something, maybe 200 at the most. That's just crazy. And these are pretty wild. They have the old movements in them, so you have to do the Seiko shake to wake them up. You cannot hand wind them at all. So this one has the Pepsi colorway on it with a dark blue dial there. You can kind of see it in that light. I like how tooly these are, and I feel like it's good that they went with a flat crystal because that kind of enhances that. And it's crazy how heavy and solid the bracelet is on it. I think when I had mine, I put it on a rubber strap, so I never really wore the bracelet. But man, the quality on this bracelet is crazy. I love the dot indices. Back when I purchased mine, that was the only kind of dive watch I was interested in. Anything with batten markers? No. So there really weren't any Christopher Wards I wanted, even though I loved the brand. I remember I kept scouring their site like once a month, looking for dive watches with dot indices, sort of an old mill sub style, but they were all just a bit more on the dressy side, and at that point in time, I wanted 100% Thule dive watch. I've put this on the wrist a couple of times, but I haven't really worn it at all. Before I do a full review, I should spend a day with it. Just reminisce about the old 007. The Pepsi colorway doesn't look too bad. This in a Batman colorway, that would be cool. And this bracelet barely tapers. The clasp on it is just solid. The whole thing's kind of a tank. I don't know if I remember mine being like this tough. And secure. Crazy. Well, I'm going to spend a bit more time with this piece, and then I will do a full review of it. Maybe I'll put it up next to my Armida. And maybe the Serica. Kind of get some context. See it side by side. Before I let you go, I'll do a wrist shot of this. So let me take off the Tudor. I have it on a brand new shell Cordovan strap that I just got today. Look at how glossy and beautiful that is. I'll do a video on this strap because I actually purchased it from the US this time. I had gone for a vintage style strap from a foreign country, maybe Poland that time, but it never arrived. So this time I went domestic. This is handmade, and I'll kind of share what I think of this strap. Alright, let me take this off, and we'll see what the SKX 009 looks like when you're wearing it. And there it is. Not too bad. That looks great. Yeah, the SKXs are just cool. Little bit sad that I sold mine. But I'm glad that I did because it led me down a path that ended up bringing me to the Armida, to the Serica, to all kinds of pieces that I might not have ended up owning if I'd kept that. I may have to tell that chain of events story at some point. But yeah, this is larger than what I'm used to, but it looks fine on my wrist. Very cool. There you have it, the SKX 009. I haven't seen an SKX watch in years. So crazy how large they look now. Wild. Thanks for watching.